Hello. Testing, testing. Can anybody see my face? Hello. Welcome once again. Long time no see. It has been a long time since I have done one of these. My name is Chris Taylor. I call myself the King of the Ass Clowns, and today we are going through a little game I like to call Silent Hill 2. This game, if I could describe it in any way, it would be, if not the best game I ever played, definitely one of the most important. I am a big fan of stories. I'm a huge believer in the power of storytelling and in the power of video game storytelling in particular. This is one of the formative games in my entire history of video game playing. I have loved this game from the day I first discovered it when I was in an EB Games and the trailer for it was playing on the little TV on the roof, and I have been in love with it ever since. I have played this game twice a year, almost every single year, since I got it about 8 months after it initially launched. And if there is one thing that I have always stuck with, it is that this game is the one and only game that I have loved more than any others. So, uh, first things first, for some reason my camera's not working, so I'm just gonna turn that right back off. There we go. That's a little bit better. Um, a few things. If I ever get a camera that works, I will absolutely still be mostly hidden. This is not just going to be a video game stream. I'm going to be using these clips after the fact to build some reviews and maybe just some little bits and clips here and there. When you see a cutscene, that cutscene I will just be silent for. You will not hear me. It'll just be the game playing itself. However, if there's any notes, I will be saying it out loud. Um, Please don't judge too much on the silly voices. I'm a father and I read stories constantly, which means I'm doing silly voices all the time. So do yourself a favor, sit back, relax, get yourself a nice drink. There's going to be a lot of stories to be told here. And, well, without further ado, let's begin.
James, honey, did something happen to you? After we got separated in that long hallway? Are you confusing me with someone else? You were always so forgetful. Remember that time in the hotel?
Maria?
You said you took everything, but you forgot that videotape we made. I wonder if it's still there.
How do you know about that? Aren't you Maria?
I'm here for you, James. See? I'm real.
Alright, let's begin. Since this is mostly a story-driven game, I have no problem at all putting this thing on easy. I'm not exactly the type of person to play games because they're difficult. I play them because they have a good story. This, arguably, one of the best stories I've ever played.
Mary, could you really be in this town?
Interesting little detail. The posters in the background here, you're going to see a little bit later on, is a character that you bump into in the game.
In my restless dreams, I see that town, Silent Hill. You promised you'd take me there again someday, but you never did. Well, I'm alone there now, in our special place, waiting for you.
I got a letter. The name on the envelope said, Mary. My wife's name. It's ridiculous. Couldn't possibly be true. That's what I keep telling myself. A dead person can't write a letter. Mary died of that damn disease 3 years ago. So then, why am I looking for her? Our special place. What could she mean? This whole town was our special place. Does she mean the park on the lake? We spent the whole day there. Just the two of us, staring at the water. Could Mary really be there? Is she really alive? Waiting for me?
Alright, so we're going to take a quick pause to make sure that audio levels are good. Brian, if you can comment, let me know. I've just adjusted the game a little bit, so that's a little lower. Please tell me how this sounds. Or, don't. That's fine too. Alright, so there's no way through on the main road, so we head down these stairs to a really, really, really long walk. There's one thing this game is known for, it's how much traveling you gotta do. Actually, that's like 10th on the list of things this game is known for. So, I remember the very first time I was introduced to this game, and it was predominantly because of the soundtrack. I remember going into an EB Games, um, seeing the little television that they had on display to show all the previews of the games that were coming out, and the trailer, I think it was either the Tokyo Game Show or the E3 trailer for this game was playing. That opening track that I let play right before I actually started things up, um, it's a slight variation on that track, and it was one of the most beautiful songs I had ever heard at that time. Um, all throughout, you're going to hear just wonderful music to this game, and it maybe it's just my bias coming in playing this game off and on for the better part of 23 years at this point, but there's not a single track that I would say doesn't fit with what's going on at that time and the characters that are in whatever cutscenes there are. Speaking of, welcome to the graveyard and our first side character.
Excuse me,
Oh, I'm sorry. I
No,
was
it's
just...
okay. I didn't mean to scare you. I'm kind of lost.
Lost?
Yeah, I'm looking for Silent Hill. Is this the right way?
Yeah. It's hard to see with this fog, but there's only the one road. You can't miss it.
Thanks.
But
Yes?
I think you'd better stay away. This town, there's something wrong with it. It's kind of hard to explain, but
Is it dangerous?
maybe. And it's not just the fog either.
Okay,
It's...
I got it. I'll be careful.
I'm not lying.
No, I believe you. It's just... I guess I really don't care if it's dangerous or not. I'm going to town either way.
But why?
I'm looking for someone.
Who is it?
Someone very important to me. I'd do anything if I could be with her again.
Me too. I'm looking for my mama. I mean my mother. It's been so long since I've seen her. I thought my father and brother were here, but I can't find them either. I'm sorry. It's not your problem.
I hope you find them.
Yeah, you too.
Pretty strange that we have a character looking for their family in a graveyard and thinking they're still alive. Then again, the main character thinks his wife is still alive after dying 3 years ago. Maybe they're not crazy.
What is it?
Oh, nothing. Sure is quiet here, huh?
I guess.
James will remain this awkward for the entirety of the game. Alright, so because I've played this game so much, I'm going to skip around a little bit where I think things may just get tedious, specifically around exploring the town. I know the key item that I need to get this started, and only one of the side areas really holds any kind of like significance to the story at hand, and there's a way that you get pointed in that direction anyways. So I will be skipping that part until it is relevant. Basically, you're supposed to explore all of this right there until you get to a note that tells you to go to a specific part of the map. I'm just going to go to that part of the map. I also happen to appreciate the fact that throughout that entire cutscene, if you're really looking, you don't think, or it doesn't look like James is making any kind of eye contact whatsoever with that character, whose name is Angela, by the way. Now, another good reason to, I guess, explore around is if you're looking for all of the items and everything. I find, especially playing on easy, because I'm just playing for the story anyways, you get enough healing items and different ammo and your weapons and everything just in the locations rather than through the town. So if I see it and I see James looks in that direction, I'm going to grab the item. Otherwise, I'm just going to go straight from place to place because that's where the story is. And finally, because I've played this game so much, it's going to be incredibly difficult to avoid spoilers. Anybody who's known me outside of this space knows spoilers aren't really a big deal for me, but I know it could be for the audience, so I'm going to do what I can. Can't promise anything, and I apologize in advance. Yeah, of course Ned Stark dies. He's being played by... Oh crap, I forget his name. But the dude that Ned Stark is being played by, he dies in everything. Also, funny enough, thank you, Sam. Welcome to the stream, Sam. How's it going, bud? Nice to have a break. Yeah, well, when you have 17 side hustles, you need to take the 5 minutes to breathe. So that big red thing there, that's technically a save point. I don't need it just yet, but there is some significance. Also, if somebody could please remind me about this road, not right now, it will come into play after we're done with the hospital.
human.
Does static indicate enemies like in the remake? Yes, it does. This is actually something that the Silent Hill series was known for, right up until they stopped using radio at all. I think in some of the American-made Silent Hill games, like Downpour and Homecoming,
Oh, yeah.
and it's used for a couple of other moments like this.
This thing broken? What the? I better take it anyway. I might need it.
Man, I love the ambient noise. You have no idea what's lurking in the dark. So yes, the remake. As a big fan of this game, I was pleasantly surprised with how the remake was done. It's not better. It's longer. Some bits seem extraneous. I'm certainly not one to complain about long-windedness, because God knows I can't shut up. But at the same time, there were certain parts that seemed to be longer for no good reason. I'm thinking specifically of the prison sequence. Everybody, when the remake came out, said that the prison set was like the scariest bit of the game. As somebody who actually stopped playing the original at the prison section as well, I kind of get it. But also in this game, it's about a half an hour long, and in the remake, it's about 3 hours longer than it needs to be. Eric, yes, it has been what, 11? I think 11 years since the last time I turned this thing on. I'm actually going to try to do this a little bit more regularly. Don't know how successful I'm going to be, because I just have a lot of irons in the fire right now, but... So like I said, skipping ahead bits and pieces here and there, I am technically supposed to go somewhere else before getting this key. And another interesting little factoid, the developer said that all of the corpses around town and in the different areas, they're all James's model. And theoretically, they did that to save time and resources. That's not necessarily true, and I'll cover that a little more when it becomes a little bit more relevant. Just keep in mind, all the dead people here are... well, James is supposed to see them as himself. Yes, alive, well, properly employed, and mostly in a good place. But, you know, such is life. Nothing's perfect, but nobody really wants it to be perfect anyways. Thank you for coming back. So, Sam, what did you not like about the prison? Because I can talk for ages about what the remake did and didn't do right and wrong, but I want to hear from you first. So, gotta get ourselves a map, a couple of healing potions, not that I'm gonna be doing a lot of fighting. James is supposed to be an everyman. And by everyman, he's really not supposed to be good in a fight. No way, thanks. I'm not even kidding. I did not think I was anything special the first time around. I was certainly louder, but that's about it. But you know, 11 years will change you, and hopefully in a good way. What's this? Looking at this makes me feel like someone's groping around inside my skull. Gives me a weird feeling. That is the only time he comments on the saves. But it also, I think, just represents the fact that as the player, you're controlling him. And in a really kind of before meta could be a thing meta way, he's not in complete control of his actions. Mostly because I'm controlling everything he does. And that plays into the endings too, when we get there. Fetch quests, overuse of mannequins is very boring and clunky overall. There was one chase sequence, I think, out of the showers in the prison sequence that I thought was well done, but my issue with the mannequins is, I think, everybody's issue with the mannequins in the remake. There's just way too many of them. They stopped being scary and started just being annoying. And Silent Hill was never about the combat, or at least it wasn't the main reason why you play this. It's supposed to be more combat avoidance, and I feel like from a modern sense, yes, you need to include something to improve the gameplay aspect of it, but something gets a little lost as well, because James is supposed to be kind of like flimsy, like he's a late 20s, early 30s clerk who doesn't really do much with his life, especially because he's manically depressed after the death of his wife. Decently louder now. I've actually had to quiet myself down a little bit. I have always been known as a really loud person, so trying to keep my voice down is, ooh, you hear that? Um, Trying to keep my voice down has always been a bit of a struggle for me anyways. We're gonna wait before we get to this door. So another thing that the remake did away with is the separation of the areas. In the original, every time you go to a door, it loads its own section of the game, right? Like, and because of that, you can do little set pieces like this. So I don't know if you recognize those clothes, but if you wait until the encounter, I'll show you a picture of what that's supposed to be. Oh, too dark to read the map. I always forget they change up the pause button and the menu button. So, the flashlight was attached to Mary's clothes. And the letter that gets read at the beginning of the game, you can actually see in your inventory as well, which I think is a very nice touch. You know, sometimes you get little instances of a cutscene and it doesn't actually stick with the rest of the storytelling of the game itself, but this game paid very close attention to details. Of course, now that I have a flashlight, I can check my map whenever I want, and I will be doing that constantly. Another good thing about that radio is that it'll tell you when the enemy is dead too, because as soon as the static is done, you can stop swinging. like I said, lots of items that you can find just by going into all the different rooms. No real need to explore the town that much. In the remake, exploring the town is very beneficial. You get all these different items and extra bits of storytelling for the town, which is really nice. I did really like the different collectibles in the remake because it helps to flesh out a game world that a lot of people may not be familiar with, at least not as familiar as I am after playing this game as much as I do. There we go. Yes, that, if you can hear the scratching in the background, that is my dog. She is in the room with me, scratching at her bed. That's basically everything that we can do here right now, so we're going to head back upstairs to the 3rd floor. That is still Luna, digging at her bed. There's a key on the ground on the other side of the bars. If I stretch my arm out, I just might be able to reach it.
Ow! Hey, wait! Damn it.
Yeah, the frame rate in the remake also seemed to stutter a little bit. It's also a lot prettier in a lot of places. Who's that kid? You know, if I had just reached through the bars with the plank, I wouldn't have needed my hand at all. Have I played the new Silent Hill? I played the remake of Silent Hill 2, but I did not play Silent Hill F yet. I think I'm just waiting for a sale, and yeah, that's basically it. It looked very interesting. Wasn't necessarily a big fan of leaving the town, but considering other games have also left the town of Silent Hill, it wasn't as big of a deal breaker as it seemed to be for the rest of the internet, so there's that. It's a shopping cart. It has a gun. And this is why I'm glad to be Canadian. So that's basically it that we can do here. I have to go back down to the 2nd floor. Now, you may be asking yourself, why go up just to go back down to the section that I was in before? 2 reasons. One, the next cutscene doesn't actually trigger until you get the handgun like I just did. And 2, if I didn't have the flashlight, I wouldn't be able to see the key behind the bars. So also benefit is by the time you get to this point in Silent Hill 2 Remake, you've been playing for 4.5 hours. We're at the half an hour mark, maybe 20 minutes, since it doesn't count the cutscenes as well. What was that? Some kind of noise north of here? still one of the most unsettling sequences for me. It starts off with basically nothing in the room. You have the enemies that you gotta fight and everything, and then behind the bars you see this massive monstrosity that you now know is out to get you from here on out. Foreshadowing.
God, who could have?
This note, it must be from the person who lived here. Three different sizes, time on the run, three young men circling round the sun. Henry is short and very, very slow. Scott can't stop, he's always on the go. So Henry, H, the first letter is also in hour, which is why he's the shorthand on a clock that's going to come up and goes really slow. Scott, capital letter S, also for seconds, which is the fastest moving hand on the clock because it does not stop. These are the hints that they give you in Silent Hill. And then if that was a little too subtle, Henry, Mildred, and Scott. So HMS, hours, minutes, and seconds. I didn't always like the puzzles in the remake. I found some of the solutions to be a little too obtuse, and it just stretched out like 3 times longer than it really needed to be. Horror works, in my opinion, horror works best with limited information and brevity. You don't want to have all of the answers. You want to have just enough that your mind goes crazy with the possibilities. Once again, the sound design in this is impeccable. It's too dark to tell for sure, but I think there's something on the other side of this hole. Will you investigate? And you hear the noise, and my first thought is James is going to lose an arm. Definitely touched something weird. Completely agree. That's why I like psychological horror, because it doesn't give anything away while still keeping you on your toes constantly. That is one of the reasons why. And I'm not saying you're wrong. If anything, I agree completely, but I think there's a little bit more to it. I have always loved stories where there's more going on than just what's presented to you. Silent Hill, Nier, a lot of the games that I've enjoyed over the years have the story that it's telling you, and then the background information of the lore of the world, or the other things that are going on just under the surface. Which means, and again, just my opinion here, but it means that there's room for multiple interpretations. I'm gonna get to this section and I'm gonna finish that thought. There's writing on the clock. Scars from the past shall remove the nail that stops time. Will you push the clock? No. I haven't solved the puzzle yet. So I'm going to use the clock key. You wait for the noise, and then you push the clock. So in the case of something like this, leaving things open-ended leaves it open to interpretation from all sorts of angles. I have my version of how this story plays out, how real everything is, even how the different characters see each other. Because the town is something that, when you really look into like underneath the surface, the town looks different to everybody who enters it. That's Angela. That's the different characters, just all the different characters that you're going to see throughout the game. But what that also means is that if you look at this and you see something completely different than what I see, it is just as valid. It is just as possible that what you are seeing is the reality of the situation. And I think that is difficult to pull off and one of the most amazing things in storytelling. As a storyteller, you can only do so much to put the story that you want told out there, and it's still up to the audience to decide what that story means to them and whether or not it resonates with them. I am obsessed with the story of this game. I think that's not even remotely close to hyperbolic. And I say this because I go out of my way to look up YouTubers and different interpretations because I want to see what somebody else sees in the characters and how they're acting. I can agree with that, so I know almost nothing about Silent Hill, but I definitely understand where you're coming from. When I think of the movie Us, ooh, I don't think I've seen Us. I'm gonna see your Us and raise you the show From. So, one thing that the remake did not do that I really wish it had is, see, I just clicked to see what this painting is all about, and it's nothing. There's a painting on the wall, but the remake, there's no inner monologue from the character, and I get it. There's a lot more cutscene. There's a lot more going on from like the telling part of storytelling in the remake, But something gets lost when you have to pay attention to these details instead of the character just pointing it out, I find. If you're going into it and clicking on everything or taking a look at what's going on, you retain it a little bit more and it becomes a little bit more, I don't want to say real, but it becomes a bit more like you, the player, doing the actions. Is this the right way? Nope, gotta grab the key from back here. Stupid kid. Actually, no, not stupid kid. That kid is very important. Yes, watch from, but also keep in mind that it's made by the same guys that did Lost. So, I've only seen the first 2 seasons, and I don't know if it's quite gone off the rails yet. But it could, and I don't know how I feel about that. I also don't know why I can't walk to the toilet here. I think they just copy and pasted this from a different section later in this level, but they removed the thing that actually stops you from moving forward, so it just looks really awkward here. More handgun bullets. I don't need to shoot anything until the bosses. Okay, head up forward, head out, and make a left. I apologize in advance. The looking at the map is something that just happens throughout all of Silent Hill. I think even the remake I had to do that a bunch too, and I get that it can be annoying. Never actually watched Lost. I was young when it came out, so I didn't have much interest in it once it finished, and everyone hated the ending. Yeah, endings are hard. It is very difficult to take something that everybody watched and loved and end it in a way that makes anybody happy, because, and especially with something open-ended like Lost was, there's too much room for interpretation, where what I see is going to be different than what everybody else sees. Yes, that is a thing of canned juice. The crazy will continue. Don't think there's anything else. This was the 3rd floor, and the 2nd floor is locked. Impassable. Okay. So Sam, I know the backtracking of everything did not really sit well with you in the remake. There is still a bunch of backtracking in the original as well. It's just because each section is only an hour instead of 4, it feels a little less bad. Plus, like, we grew up with Resident Evil. You're always backtracking somewhere, right? So we drop the canned juice. Don't actually remember if that puzzle was in the remake. can agree with that, but I believe it can be done well, especially if the script is written out fully ahead of time. I don't disagree, except for when it doesn't work. I really liked the ending to How I Met Your Mother. The ending to that was set in stone basically from season 2, which is when they filmed the kids doing that section of telling Ted to just go after Robin in the end. That is, I think, a great example of everybody loved the show for the longest time. The ending, some people liked it, some people didn't, some people hated it. And I think anytime you have a long running series, and that could be a show, it could be a book, it could be a game, once you get past like 3 or 4 iterations or years of something, everybody is going to complain. And by everybody, I just mean the loudest voices who won't stop complaining. Now, I also have not seen Lost. I just know that it is one of the most divisive endings, and because it's the same makers who made From, just keep that in mind. But at least for the first 2 seasons that I've watched, it did a really good job of giving you just enough answers to your questions without spoon feeding you and without giving you too much that you just know everything, but not so little that you're like, fuck this, I'm done. That being said, after 2 seasons, I think my wife and I both said, like, we've got one more season of this, and if it doesn't start picking up the pace a little bit more, it may not be worth it. The garbage bag is torn and the contents are strewn all over. I got a coin of the old man. What's this? Some gossip magazine? The police announced today that Walter Sullivan, who was arrested on the 18th of this month for the brutal murder of Billy Locane and his sister Miriam, committed suicide in his jail cell early on the morning of the 22nd. According to the police statement, Sullivan used a soup spoon to stab himself in the neck, severing his carotid artery. By the time the guard discovered him, Sullivan was dead from blood loss, the spoon buried 2 inches in his neck. An old schoolmate of Walter Sullivan's from his hometown of Pleasant River said, "He didn't look like the type of guy who would kill kids. But I do remember that just before they arrested him, he was blurting out all sorts of strange stuff like, 'He's trying to kill me. He's trying to punish me. The monster, the red devil. Forgive me. I did it. But it wasn't me.'" The schoolmate then added, "I guess now that I think of it, he was kinda crazy." I hope he's not friends with that red pyramid thing. No! It's fine. Me getting hurt a bunch of times actually works for the character. A slightly open-ended movie I think was done well was Inception. I only just watched it for the first time 2 weeks ago, and I understand why the people enjoyed it as much as they did. Inception. That's the Christopher Nolan, Elliot Page, Leo DiCaprio, like, dream one, right? Yeah? Okay. So I saw it in theaters. I thought the ending was well done. I thought it worked. I'm just gonna check to see if there's any writing on this wall. Hell. That is a door that leads to hell. So funny enough, the Wham was in the trailers, but never in the movie itself. about to meet our next side character. What the? Who could have done this? The wham sound. Eric B-Ran was mentioning that the wham sound is the Inception movie. Yes, everyone uses it now, but it started with Inception.
It wasn't me. I didn't do it.
Do what?
I didn't do anything. I swear. He was like this when I got here.
My name's James. James Sunderland.
Eddie.
Eddie. Who's that dead guy in the kitchen?
I didn't do it. I swear I didn't kill anybody.
You're not friends with that red pyramid thing, are you?
Red pyramid thing? I don't know what you're talking about. Honest. But I did see some weird-looking monsters. They scared the hell out of me, so I ran in here.
Well, I guess this place isn't too safe either. What happened here anyway?
I told you, I don't know. I'm not even from this town. I just...
You too, huh? Something just brought you here, right?
Yeah, you could say that.
Well, whatever it is, I think you better get out of here soon.
Yeah, you're right. What about you?
I'll leave as soon as I'm done here. Eddie, be careful.
James, you be careful too.
You know, I talk to a lot of people, and there is a phenomenon when you have to do something, or I guess specifically when you have to kill somebody for the first time, and you haven't built up that immunity to horrific things, that just makes you sick. I like to think that Eddie could have been a good person with different choices. He doesn't, but he could have. Moving right along. Gonna try to find our way to the next rooms. Did get the other coin in that basket. Okay, yes. Fire escape key. that was new music. Sorry. There's no fire escape outside the door. Maybe they knocked it down when they built the building next door? I think I can get into the building next door if I go through the window in front of me. What's interesting is that he did not actually ask if I wanted to go to the next building. He just did it on his own. Of course, that also means I don't have a map of this area. Hi, Steph. It looks like there's something stuck inside the toilet. Will you take it out? One thing I really appreciate about this characterization of James is that he really does not seem to have any cognitive abilities whatsoever. He's done. Like, he's at the end of his rope. Him finding his wife in Silent Hill, hopefully, is 4/17/18/3. 4/17/18/3. 4/17/18/3. Sorry, I will finish that thought in a second. For 17/18/3. I never remember this one. But James very clearly is like, he's at the end of his rope. There's nothing left for him to live for except for the vague potential of his dead wife being alive and in Silent Hill. Which is why seeing all of these monsters, you know, an enemy that looks like they're strapped into a straitjacket, a pair of legs that are stapled to each other, that doesn't faze him, because the only thing in his life is that he wants to find his dead wife. He needs his dead wife to be alive for him to have meaning. Dear Tim. Oh, Tim. I have to run an errand, so I'm going out. I left the key with Uncle David. You know where he lives, don't you? The key is in the room near the first floor staircase. I'll be back as soon as I can, so please watch the place while I'm gone. And because I'm wearing headphones, I heard the door rattle. Fun. Alright, staircase. Is there anything in the laundry room? I don't think so. And now I have a map. One item that is not in James's inventory is the red marker that he uses to mark all of the locked doors. There we go. Sorry, if I don't actually have all the red, something weird goes on in my brain. I'm missing a coin. I cannot solve this puzzle. Alright, question for the audience. Does that door look like it belongs in this building? Stuffed animal. Probably belonged to the kid that used to live here. Pay very close attention to how the camera works in this one.
Oh, it's you.
Yeah, I'm James.
Angela.
Angela, okay. I don't know what you're planning, but there's always another way.
Really? But you're the same as me. It's easier just to run. Besides, is what we deserve.
No, I'm not like you.
You afraid? I'm sorry.
It's okay. Did you find your mother?
Not yet. She's not anywhere.
Did she live in this apartment building?
I don't know.
So, all you know is she lived in this town.
What did you say? How do you know that?
Well, I just figured, 'cause this is where you're looking for her. How else would I know?
Yeah,
Am I right?
I'm so tired.
So, why did you come to this town anyway?
I'm sorry. Did you find the person you're looking for?
Not yet. Her name's Mary. She's my wife.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Anyway, she's dead. I don't know why I think she's here.
She's dead?
Don't worry. I'm not crazy. At least, I don't think so.
I've got to find my mama.
Should I go with you? This town's dangerous. Now I know what you meant back there in the cemetery.
I'll be okay by myself. Besides, I'd just slow you down.
What about that?
Will you hold it for me?
Sure. No problem.
If I kept it, I'm not sure what I might do. I'm sorry. I've been bad. Please don't.
I got a coin. The prisoner. Yeah. These days, a game like this would usually come with a content warning or a trigger warning, and rightfully so. The story that you see from James's perspective of Angela is, to this day, still one of the most unsettling, heartbreaking stories I have seen. All of this, the reason why the camera pans a certain way, when you notice that her personality shifts because the mirror is facing a different way, the cinematography, the music, everything is just hauntingly beautiful in the most disgusting way. It gets worse for her. Alright, puzzle time. There's something written on the desk. To the right is the lady. To the left is the old one. In the center crawls the other. Now, just 2 spaces remain, but fear not, for now the puzzle is done. The puzzle is done. To the right is the lady. To the left, the old one. In the center crawls the third. Alright. I mentioned lately how much I hate bugs? Because if I haven't, I hate bugs. Locked door is one to the left. Apartment stairwell key. So, 50 minutes in the apartment. By the time I got to this section in the remake, I think I was at 7.5 hours. And if you're wondering why I keep harping on time, well, horror works in brevity. But seriously, everything that needed to be told in this section was told in under an hour, and the remake stretched it out. I don't know if it's because Bloober Team was proud of their combat system. It wasn't a bad combat system, but it's still an everyman trying to fight his way through hell. Or is it purgatory? I appreciate that James does not actually defeat Pyramid Head, but the siren calls it away.
You! It was you, wasn't it? You're the one who stepped on my hand.
I don't know. Maybe I did.
What's a little girl like you doing here, anyway?
Huh? Are you blind or something?
What's that letter?
None of your business. You didn't love Mary anyway.
Wait! How do you know Mary's name?
All of that was very important. Please keep that in mind for the ending of the game. The music stops, and
Mary? No, you're not.
Do I look like your girlfriend?
No, my late wife. I can't believe it. You could be her twin. Your face, your voice, just your hair and clothes are different.
My name is Maria. I don't look like a ghost, do I? See? Feel how warm I am?
You're really not Mary.
I told you. I'm Maria.
Sorry. I was confused.
Where are you going?
I'm looking for Mary. Have you seen her?
Didn't you say she died?
Oh, yeah, 3 years ago. But I got a letter from her. She says she was waiting in our special place.
And that's here? Anyway, I haven't seen her. Is this your only special place?
Well, there's the hotel, too, I guess. The one on the lake? I wonder if it's still there.
The Lakeview Hotel? Yeah, it's still there. So, the hotel was your special place, huh? I'll bet it was. Don't get so mad. I was just joking. Anyway, it's not that way. It's this way.
You're coming with me?
You were gonna just leave me?
No, but...
With all these monsters around?
No, I just...
I'm all alone here. Everyone else is gone. I look like Mary, don't I? You loved her, right? Or maybe you hated her.
Don't be ridiculous.
So it's okay?
Yeah, fine.
thank you for joining, Eric. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I plan on doing this Sundays and Wednesdays, 8:30, hopefully. It's really going to depend, though. This is fun. This is not my number one priority. So enjoy, and I'll see you next time. So I love that James points out that Maria's clothes and voice, sorry, hair and clothes, but her voice is the same. And you can really tell just how confused the man is. And to a degree, this is early 2000s voice acting for a PlayStation 2 video game, localized from Japanese. So some of that is just a sign of the times. But I find that this game is the perfect storm of. I meant to kick that one. This game is the perfect storm of circumstance and type of development consistency that is lacking today. Uh, Games these days, if I can be an old man yelling at a cloud for a moment, um, seem to have unlimited budgets until the developers get canned because people need more money. And I think that's a very depressing thing. I think this game works incredibly well with a limited budget, being a borderline launch title for the PS2. All of this fog is really just because they wanted to reduce load times and draw distances naturally, but also the frame rate that Sam mentioned up a little earlier, and it's hard to overstate just how, with more time or more money, this game would be completely different. Or with wanting to get professional voice actors. When they not when they remade, when they did like a pseudo remaster on the PS3, they got a different set of voice actors for both Silent Hill 2 and Silent Hill 3. And because they sounded more polished, it didn't work for the game. I was able to kind of look past that in the remake because enough of the look and feel of that game was different that it just seemed like it worked. But when you've played this game as much as I have, and you get that jarring sense of professionalism in a game that seems to be mostly about vibes, it didn't work. Like, there's a reason why I'm playing the PS2 original here. It works better. It sounds, it just fits. I don't have any other words to describe it.
I'll wait here. I hate bowling.
I didn't come here to play, you know.
Hurry back, okay?
So what'd you do? Robbery? Murder?
Nah, nothing like that.
Huh, you're just a gutless fatso.
What'd you have to say that for?
I thought you said the cops were after you.
No, I just ran because I was scared. I don't know what the cops are doing.
But if you did something bad, why don't you just say you were sorry? Well, I guess I run away a lot too.
It's no good. They wouldn't listen. Nobody will ever forgive me.
Not with that attitude, they won't.
Did you find the lady you're looking for? What's her name? Mary?
Eddie?
Oh, you're...
James. We met in the apartment building?
Yeah, I remember. But,
Are you alone here, Eddie?
No.
Bye-bye.
Wait! Come back! Eddie, let's go after her.
Huh? Laura? But why?
Laura. Is that her name?
That's what she said.
This town is full of monsters. How can you sit there and eat pizza?
She said she was fine by herself. She said a fatso like me would just slow her down.
Forget you. Did a little girl run out of here?
Yeah, she was too fast for me. Aren't you gonna go after her? She went through there.
Is there any other way?
Yeah, there is. Right through there.
It's no good. It's locked.
Oh, James, you scoundrel. Don't remember that truck being there.
Over there!
So, one thing to pay attention to. We just got out of a script club named Heaven's Night. We left Pete's Bolorama. We went to Rosewater Park. There's a hotel, a gas station, all that good stuff. Every area that we go to has a name. We're going to enter a place called Brookhaven Hospital. It's a little strange that a hospital doesn't have their name on the map. This is another section of the game that I found to be unnerving more than it was scary. And the fact that I am now playing this with headphones for the second or third time that I'm playing this with headphones on, the low vibration of the atmospheric music really comes through. I appreciate anybody who wants to come in and watch this, me playing this, but honestly, do yourself a favor, play this game yourself, put on a pair of headphones, and just experience it. It seems to be about the patients hospitalized here. Jack Davis. He has attempted suicide 3 times in the past for reasons unknown. Although he is normally a model patient who follows doctor's orders, he must be watched closely due to his past pattern of sudden and violent suicide attempts. Joseph Barkin. His illness seems to be rooted in the fact that he believes he is guilty of causing his daughter's death. His symptoms suggest a psychotic break and paranoid delusions. Normally calm, but has a tendency towards violence when excited. Joshua Lewis. History of hospitalization as well as numerous assault, battery, and other violent offenses. He has a strong persecution complex and a tendency to solve problems through necessary violence. Extreme caution necessary. Something is written. The potential for this illness exists in all people, and under the right circumstances, any man or woman would be driven, like him, to the other side. The other side perhaps may not be the best way to phrase it. After all, there is no wall between here and there. It lies on the borders where reality and unreality intersect. It is a place both close and distant. Some say it isn't even an illness. I cannot agree with them. I'm a doctor, not a philosopher, or even a psychiatrist. But sometimes I have to ask myself this question. It's true that to us, his imaginings are nothing but the inventions of a busy mind, but to him, there simply is no other reality. Furthermore, he is happy there. So why, I ask myself, why in the name of healing him must we drag him painfully into the world of our own reality? Something else is written by hand. I got the key from Joseph. It's probably the key to that box. Now this is another section. There's going to be a lot of backtracking. How I usually handle things is I'll start at the bottom and work my way up. Sometimes it works. Most of the time it works. Sometimes it does not. Yeah. Right. To the stairs. So there's no way to the basement.
What's wrong?
I just pricked myself.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
So, bent needle, but more importantly, there's a shotgun in the locker. What kind of hospital is this? Right, examination room key. This typewriter here, I've got no use for this. Wait a minute, what's this? There's a sheet of carbon paper still stuck in the typewriter. I can still read the imprint left on it. I know it. I know the number of the box. 4817. It can't help him anymore. Button key doesn't scare me, so nobody can stop who I am. I don't know who I am is who I am is who I am is. All that for a health drink. I'm pretty sure I need to go back down to the first floor, use the examination room key, and then I'll be able to get to the third floor. this room. Third floor, patient wing hall 7335.
James. Wait a minute. I'm kind of tired. It's just a hangover.
You should rest.
So comfy.
I'm gonna go look for her. For Laura. I'll be back as soon as I can.
I'll be okay soon. Did you find Laura? James, I want to ask you something. What if you can't find Mary? What will you do?
I haven't thought about that.
Just because I forgot to examine it before. Something wrong on the wall. Louise, I'll take care of you forever. It's my destiny. Cool. You have a good one, Brian. to try to get to at least the boss fight of this, and then I am also going to be So this is a very important note for getting a very specific ending, which is the one I believe is the one that James deserves. There's something on the floor. Is this a diary? May 9th. Rain. Stared out the window all day. Peaceful here. Nothing to do. Still not allowed to go outside. May 10th. Still raining. Talk with the doctor a little. Would they have saved me if I didn't have a family to feed? I know I'm pathetic, weak. Not everyone can be strong. May 11. Rain again. The meds make me feel sick today. If I'm only better when I'm drugged, then who am I anyway? May 12th. Rain as usual. I don't want to cause any more trouble for anyone, but I'm a bother either way. Can it really be such a sin to run instead of fight? Some people may say so, but they don't have to live in my shoes. It may be selfish, but it's what I want. It's too hard like this. It's just too hard. May 13th. It's clear outside. The doctors told me I've been released, that I've got to go home. The diary ends here. There are no more entries. What was the diary doing up here? Something written on the wall. 1919. Turn the numbers. Better not forget them. So I'll write them down here. The other one. My secret name. Nope. It's all the way at the end. Turns out even with checking the map all the time, I still make mistakes. Alright, 1919. Four 817. Yes. Don't always remember the numbers, but this time I'm very happy to say I did. nothing inside the box. No, I'm wrong. There are a few hairs inside. See, Resident Evil, they give you piano keys. They give you the keys from like door keys. Silent Hill gives you hair, and that's the prize for getting 4 keys. To be fair, we're in a mental institution. So what you're supposed to do is combine the hair to the thing that pricked your finger before, then use it on this little hole to get a key. This key leads you to a section that is locked currently, and then boss fight. Only one place to go. I always forget if there's anything else in these rooms. But I think it's just the fight. Oh, no. Shotgun shells. And handgun bullets.
Laura?
Huh? You know my name?
Eddie told me.
That big fat blabbermouth.
How do you know about Mary?
What's the big deal?
Why can't you just tell me?
You gonna yell at me if I don't?
No, I won't.
I was friends with Mary. We met at the hospital. It was last year.
You liar! Laura,
Fine, don't believe me.
But last year, Mary was already... I'm sorry, Laura. Anyway, let's go. We can talk about this later. This is no place for a kid. There are all sorts of strange things around here. I can't believe you haven't even gotten a scratch on you.
Why should I? Wait! There's something I gotta get.
Later, okay?
But it's really important.
What is it?
A letter from Mary.
Huh?
I wanna go get it. Is that okay?
Yes.
Come on, hurry up.
Is it in there?
Yeah, in the back.
What are you doing, Laura?
It's further back in the desk.
Laura! Open the door, Laura.
Why should I? I'm a liar, right? Want me to open it? Huh? Huh? Do ya? What's the magic word?
Laura?
Okay, I guess I won't open it. I think I'll just leave you like this.
You snotty little brat! Open up!
Why, you
Laura?
hurt me!
More sirens.
James. James. James.
Now, I've always been curious. Somebody is saying James's name. Is it Mary? Or is it Maria? I go back and forth on that one, actually. It could be either or. But for now, we're going to take a pause. Thank you, every single person who decided to join us today. I greatly appreciate the conversation and the freedom to be able to talk about my favorite game of all time. Anybody who wants to stick around afterwards, there's going to be one song that plays while we wait for the stream to complete, and a recording of this will be made available on my YouTube channel as well. Everybody, thank you very much. Have yourselves a wonderful evening. Take care.